you really have to figure out as a nation, as a state, as a house, as a society, as a city, as a town, as an individual, as a family. What identity do you want? Do you want one that is in promoting and in representation of true freedom and sovereignty? Easy answer is like, well, of course. Are you willing to work for it? Are you willing to sacrifice for it? You see, these avenues must be met, crossed, and won over by the bravery of your heart. And once that is done, you can proceed in representing things like GPMS.WORLD, new train of thought and platform to save our world from impoverished, barbaric, savage conditions that simply need not to exist. And the only reason they exist at this time is because enough of the masses were lulled to sleep by an elite that wished to take advantage of them. So now as we are approaching the masses with information that cannot be censored, cannot be turned down, cannot be stopped, the education processes of the solution to the world's problem is underway, and the application of its solution is already underway. That is GPMS.WORLD. But now you guys have a special position. You either continue with your operations that are in strict violation of our freedoms and that will eventually be outed. You either go that route or you take a stance now. You make a change now in your house and your family. If you can't change them enough, you move out and you continue working for the liberation effort. But you get to choose. Do I want to be written in history as someone with William Wallace, someone with a Braveheart, someone with a Mel Gibson type hero and the Patriot? Do I want to be with or against? Do I want to be written in history as the one that knowingly in my heart shied away from the harder task because of fear, or do I want to be written as that brave soul that helped push through the new wave of consciousness with applicable solutions to problems the elite rule off of? Coincidentally, we're kept in ignorance, kept in poverty, with just enough money to get by. Sort of benefits their plan. Too busy to really figure out what's wrong. Sort of benefits their plan. Oh, making money off depopulation efforts sort of fits into their plan. Oh, there's too many of us, and if a good idea does catch fire, they don't know how they would control us, so they're trying to hurry these kind of things up. Oh, I get it. Well, let's put it this way. The potentials are already passed, and the galactic analysis of this planet by other extrasolar planets have already concluded that, yeah, it's liberated, it's on the way, it's a matter of time. It does actually come down to certain potentials and factors that even certain individuals carry the difference of. Because one individual accepting change and moving forward affects everyone they know. And everyone that they know. So, what do you want to be at this time? Do you want to look for common ground, or are you looking for divisionary continuances, which does nothing to unite the planet? It severs our ties even more with anything godly, good, and moral and cooperative. Meanwhile, the elite cooperate to take advantage of us. Can we not agree to cooperate and alleviate that issue in full? Yes, with the right sound of mind and thinking, without the hive mind of the bully coming in and throwing slurs at me because, well, I'm on my own channel, my own diary, and you guys can't interrupt me at this time or mute me. You have a choice. You are in a privileged position with unimaginable intel, and what did you do with it? It's not what you know, it's what you know and do or don't do that really defines you. Someone could know, this may work, but I may die pushing it, and they never take a move. It's not what they know that made them Because what they know didn't make them. It's what they did with what they know. And it's what you do with what you know. And when you know GPMS.WORLD is that holy sacred plan, the return of the Lamb, I am that I am, what did you do with that knowledge? Did you slander the man? Did you help him? Did you find something to talk about that you had no business talking about while what you should be covering, you're leaving? You know, what's your story? Because you got one. You may not like it. Anybody coming in contact with me, indirect or direct, you're accounted in fucking history. And it's up to you if you want to be written in as an asshole or you want to be written in as someone that's enlightened, helping society rise out of the ignorance and savagery and was willing to put your life on the line for these babies. My legacy is good. No matter what you devils tried, I have you surrounded. And just remember that anytime the enemy pings you, you're winning. How are you winning? Well, if the enemy attacks, the enemy reveals itself. If the enemy reveals itself, the good can act upon what they have found. You understand? If the enemy stays dormant and has nothing to supposedly attack and succeed at attacking, then, could be annoying later, so why not get it out of the way now? I think is the way we see it. From a galactic perspective, and probably from an Earth military perspective, and all in conjunction with understand exactly what that shit means. In other words, if I could play a game of chess and sit back and let them take extra moves because I'm that set, and their extra moves move just out of their field of protection and into my field of exposure, I could pull that off. They spend the energy, and I just zap them out with God's karmic laws watching over. And the same goes for you. It is written, the archangels will be given charge over your protection. Do you believe? Or do you believe more in the evil? That if you do right, it's going to claim you, own you. But wait a second, isn't that the opposite? When you don't fight, the evil claims you and owns you. So get your head right, get your mind right, and understand what time it is, and make that pivotal decision, man. Affect everyone in your class, affect everyone in your society, affect everyone in your family in a positive manner. If you get rejected for being a revolutionary, then you even clearer can see the sheep syndrome, and you can study it, and you can also study how to reverse engineer it and break it down. When you can win one family member over, for example, with knowledge that they didn't believe, with research, and say, we need to think a little bit more than 9 to 5 and bills. That's a cascade effect. And then you'll have an easier time talking to the next person and bypassing the sheeple walls that the elite wanted to put in their mind and subconscious. And as you continue to do that, you get better and better at reaching people in less and less time. And you also get better at reaching more people with a high quality effect, making a mass effect with less and less time. And before you know it, you've become an antenna, a lighthouse for those lost at sea. And your one person could now affect, let's say virally, 10,000 online with all your work combined. This is keeping it humble. Anyone can reach these numbers if they really have a drive. I already have, several times. All right, well, out of them 10,000, 100 of them may reach 10 people in their family, with friends included. That's 1,000. You can get where this goes. One person out of the 10,000 may end up reaching 1 million. And you can get where this goes. You call it a mass effect, whatever, cascade effect. And it simply is math. We win. The only question is, can we expedite it any faster to alleviate those suffering the most at this time on this planet? And that's where my job comes in. How do I reach the most influential minds with this knowledge? And even if I get them to move 1% toward it, I've changed the matrix big time. Because 1% of their mind changing and they affect millions. You can see where it goes. If the ship turns just a little bit, the final destination will be different. Remember that. You can have two ships that look like they're together. They could be just a little bit off from each other. Okay? And being that little bit off from each other, they're going to end up in two different continents. GPMS.WORLD is where we're going to end up. That's the world of abundance, joy, harmony, a non-perpetual indebting system, one that JFK would be proud of when he passed the executive order to have our own bank for some time before his untimely assassination. So, yeah, it just depends. Are you brave? Are you a coward? Are you a slave? Are you a leader? You know, what are you written in for? And that's how history will judge you. You will not get to lie about the facts. And, you know, as the future becomes fully liberated, there is no more of that. That goes away with the elite and their deceitful practices. GPMS.WORLD is what it is. Sign in today. Consent to have it. Individuals and groups. God bless.